This video focuses on the illusion of truth effect. I will start off reading a few quotes from 3 research articles. Then I will follow up with a couple of real-world examples of how our communication and our perception of what is true is affected. I will then conclude with a logical conclusion to a sound, valid argument I present. Here are quotes from 3 research papers. People rate statements that they have heard just once as more valid or true than things they hear for the first time. The illusion of truth is traditionally described as the increase in perceived validity of statements when they are repeated. People have the maximum confidence in an idea after it has been repeated between 3 and 5 times. If something is hard to think about, then people tend to believe it less. Simply safe in our delusion. Simplicity can be a lot harder to achieve than complexity, and truth falls by the wayside. It appears people get in the habit of saying certain things without considering what it is they are saying. Are they just being reflexive, complacent? I speak for myself as well. This happens because people are paying little attention to that of which they speak. Here are 2 statements. Days get longer in the summer. Days get shorter in the summer. Which of these statements have you heard before? Which of those 2 statements is true? I hear this quite often. Days get longer in the summer as opposed to winter days, and they get shorter in the winter as opposed to summer days. This could not be more wrong. This is the exact opposite of what is reality. At first glance, one may think that I'm a flibberty-gibbet, or just being pedantic, a stickler for the rules of English, a nitpicker, like someone who says, I could care less, in which their intended meaning is the exact opposite of what they're actually saying, and that their intent is not to be sarcastic. I could care less means I care enough that there is a possibility that I could care less, meaning that indeed I do care. The proper statement would be, I could not care less. In this case, the meaning is, I care to such a small degree that it might be impossible to care about something any less than I already do. Or perhaps I'm getting confused about the concept of ellipses, where we omit a superfluous word, sentence, or an entire lexical section from a piece of communication without altering its intended meaning, as in the stated question, want to eat? Meaning, do you want to eat, or do you want to go get some food and eat? I believe Grice's maxim of quantity is not being flouted here. Further, I posit we can agree that people do not think that days have more time per day in the summer months than they do in the days during the winter months. That is more than 24 hours, or that days have less time in the winter months than they do in the summer months. Again, less than 24 hours per day. We can get pedantic and say that there are 24.000001 hours per solar day, or that a mean sidereal or stellar day is 23 hours, 56 minutes, 4.1 seconds. But for the sake of this argument, it will be necessary that we agree that a day equals some value. So we will say 24 hours. It can be assumed that the statement, days get longer in the summer and shorter in the winter, is an ellipsis. And in filling in the missing words, we end up with the statement, the amount of sunlight per day gets longer in the summer months and shorter in the winter months. Now the hypothesis statement is beginning to be descriptive. However, to this I still state that this is the opposite of what happens. The statement is incorrect. The amount of sunlight per day gets longer in the summer months and shorter in the winter months is wrong. It is the other way around. The amount of sunlight per day gets shorter in the summer months and longer in the winter months. This is not being pedantic. This is being accurate and correct. The first day of summer falls on the summer solstice in the northern hemisphere. Summer solstice falls between June 20th and June 22nd. This is dependent upon the year and the time zone you live, of course. The summer solstice is the longest day of the year regarding sunlight. The day before it is shorter and the day after it is shorter. All days following the summer solstice until the winter solstice are shorter than the previous day. By the way, the winter solstice falls between and including December 20th to the 23rd in the northern hemisphere. The winter solstice is the shortest day of the year regarding sunlight and marks the first day of winter in the northern hemisphere. All days before and after the winter solstice are longer, with each day being progressively longer whether you move forward or backward from the solstice. It then follows that each day of summer following the first day is shorter than the day previous regarding sunlight. Therefore, the days regarding sunlight get shorter in the summer. The same conclusion is made with each day of winter following the first day. That is, each day after the first day of winter gets longer progressively. This is a sound, valid argument. It strikes me that the reason for this erroneous claim is the result of violating the concept of an ellipsis, which is when we remove a superfluous word or sentence or an entire section and we don't change the meaning. The meaning is altered in this example, and thus Grice's maxim of quantity, where one tries to be as informative as one can possibly be, and at the same time give as much information as is needed, and no more, is flouted. Additionally, Grice's maxim of quality, where one tries to be truthful and does not give information that is false or unsupported by evidence, appears to also be flouted. In reconstructing the statement, the days get longer in the summer and shorter in the winter, additional information is required. Grice's maxim of manner, where one tries to be as clear, as brief, and as orderly as possible without being obscure or ambiguous, come into play. If we state that the amount of sunlight in a day, in general, is longer in the summer months than in the winter months, and vice versa, then, and only then, are we not wrong and free of ridicule or violations of any of Grice's maxims. Therefore, in concluding, the amount of sunlight in a day, in general, is longer in the summer months than it is in the winter months, and vice versa, is correct. However, the amount of sunlight per day gets shorter in the summer months and longer in the winter months. Thanks for tuning into this video. I hope you found it interesting. If you liked what you heard, please press the like button. If you would like to hear more, please subscribe to my channel. Thanks.